This is going to be the video that I wanted to see 2 years ago before getting into prediction markets. I am going to show you the best categories for you to trade on Polymarket and Kalshi when it comes to weak counterparties. As I said in last week's video, the way you are going to make money anywhere is by having a bad counterparty, someone who is dumber, has less information, more impulsive, more emotional. We are going to be talking about this today, and I'm going to show you all of the markets that you can really beat and the markets you really can't beat. Number 10. These are markets you can't really beat in the short term. One of the worst categories for beginners. This video is going to be tailored toward beginners trying to beat a market by exploiting weaker counterparties. If you're a beginner, avoid these markets completely. This is not where you want to go. There are so many bots that are going to arb you out, that are going to hedge you out and take advantage of your orders. If you market order, you're probably doing so at a bad price. If you're using a limit order, you're going to get sniped when the odds are against you anyway. Toxic flow. There aren't really too many ways to win, but there is some alpha in longer term plays. In the private Discord, I talk about it. With medium term and longer term Bitcoin plays, you can get some good alpha in these markets, but short term, on Polymarket and Kalshi, you're just not going to make money unless you have a better bot. This is ruled by bots and models who are constantly competing. Do you really want to do that too? Now, for every category that I have, I'm going to give you one pro tip for you to beat each market. This pro tip looks a little silly because it's obvious, but it is true. You beat this market by being better at predicting Bitcoin, not really by being better at setting prices or exploitation, but just be better at predicting Bitcoin or where it's going to go. That's it. Number 9, the second worst category for you to trade, the worst being stock price and crypto price markets in the short term. Short-term weather markets, not good. This is not a great category anymore for beginners. These have so many models, so many bots, latency issues where there are going to be bots who are going to get information quicker than you and they'll exploit that, such as a weather release, right? There aren't really too many ways to win short term, but I have found alpha in longer term plays, such as one example. What will the weather in NYC be in 2 days, right? What will the weather in Miami be in tomorrow? Stuff like that can be good, but when it's day of short term, it's very difficult to beat because there are just so many models out there. The only way you're going to win this is by just having a better weather model. That's it. Number 8, the third worst, but now we're starting to get in the category where it's not terrible, This is not the greatest market for a beginner to beat a counterparty, which means that there are dumb counterparties when you're trading. This market, Elon Tweet Markets on Polymarket, does have actually sophisticated market makers and models. This is a very easy market for a lot of bots to price. So because of that, you're probably going to struggle to find dumb counterparties, right? This is a reoccurring market every week. And it's hard to beat unless you have some type of exploit, insider knowledge, or just a crazy good model. Or you know that he's about to tweet about something a lot, or he's not going to tweet because there's nothing going on. You're going to beat this market. The dominant strategy that I have found, you buy cheap brackets and you sell them for a 2x. 2 quick examples. You predict one, let's say you're like, hey, I can't beat this market short term, but I don't think he's going to tweet much. You buy really cheap bracket of like, hey, he'll tweet 100 to 110 times for 5%. And then the market goes up to 10% and you sell. Or you think, oh, he's going to tweet a lot. You buy a higher bracket that's like 4% and you sell it a day, right? That's how you win. Besides that, avoid it. These markets are interesting. It's not terrible to trade, but it's not really worth your time. If that makes sense? This is all my opinion, by the way, guys. I've been trading prediction markets for years. This is just showing you where I've made money and where I've lost money and trying to give you the best information just from my own lens. This is not objective. This is subjective, of course, right? Remember that. Tech markets tend to have limited liquidity and volume. An example of a tech market, guys, would be which company has the best AI model by the end of November, such as Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, X. These markets, if you go look right now at the tech page on Polymarket, they're going to almost always just be 95.5%, where one market is just priced at 95 and the rest are at like 2. There's not a lot of 50-50s here where there's actually competition. There's just not much alpha. It's either you buy the long shot or you buy the 95% in the tech category. There's just not much you can really do. So that's why I rank this at 7. It's just not a good category. If you want to beat it, you're going to have to do quantitative research on tech sales, downloads, and releases. You're going to have to do a lot of quantitative research to really get this in, or latency stuff, but not really worth your time probably. Now, I'm going to say we're getting into markets that are actually kind of beatable, sort of beatable. Culture markets are really interesting, and I really struggled in saying where would I put this on a top 10 list, because culture markets are different than any other category. Seriously. They have all insiders. The only way, not the only way, but one of the main ways you are going to make money if you trade culture markets, it's all insider trading. All of it. You know, when will Mr. Beast post a video? Will Taylor Swift get married? You know, will celebrity get pregnant? You know, stuff like that. Will someone wear a suit? These are all culture markets, right? These are things where it's just pure insider. It's not really a lot of analysis that you're going to do. So this category is kind of beatable. The counterparties aren't always the smartest, but there are counterparties out there that have insider information and will destroy you, right? If you're buying no to a market and a guy has insider information, he's going to take all your money by buying yes. Just how it goes. Not really a great market, but an interesting one. And if you want to win, you gotta find insiders. Now we're getting into the ones that are average. You know, they're fine. They're kind of beatable, kind of not. Economic markets. This is going to be stuff like Fed rates, earnings, calls, like stuff like that I'm putting under this umbrella. Now, the counterparties here are moderately sophisticated. They can be beaten due to a lack of a true inherent probability of a certain rate or a certain rate cut. An example of that, will Jerome Powell cut rates? Will he keep them the same? Stuff like that. A lot of the times, traders actually are going to be setting orders in order to hedge. There are some funds out there that I know are doing that, which is going to give you plus CV trades to do due to their desire to get a hedge in. Let me explain. Let's say that Jane Street wants to get $2 million worth of rates are going to get changed, right? So they're buying all the yes of, oh my God, rates will get changed. You can buy no for a very cheap price because they want to hedge so bad. Make sense? And that gives you an EV edge because they're pushing the true value past they're pushing the value past the true value, giving you good odds, if that makes sense. You beat this market by understanding how the Fed operates, doing good research, and typically, not financial advice, but this market, I've noticed one pattern. Going for the leading option tends to win. Not always, but there aren't really that many upsets that I've found. I mean, yes, don't hold me to that, but there are a lot of categories where there's crazy things happening. Economic markets, actually, guys, the leading option almost always wins. For example, if a rate cut chance is at 90%, it tends to win over 90% of the time, if that makes sense. I've just seen with these ones, if you're going to beat them, long shots are not a good idea. Just my own research. Now we're getting to the good ones. These final 4 are markets that you can actually beat. Yeah. They're markets you can beat because these are getting to counterparties that are kind of dumb. It's getting good now. Geopolitics. Will there be a U.S.-Venezuela engagement, a fight by whatever date, Russia-Ukraine ceasefire in 2025? This is a great category for betting on nothing ever happens. There are people who have legit made millions of dollars in geopolitics doing something along these lines. This is pretty much the leading strategy so far has been countering markets that are in the news. Example, let's say that Trump and Venezuela and that whole thing is in the news a lot. People are going to overweight the chance of an engagement between the U.S. and Venezuela because it's in the news. They're going to overweight it because it's a heuristic bias, availability heuristic bias. Because they keep hearing it in their head, they're going to think, oh, the odds should be higher than 35%. So they buy it at like 40. And then you could buy at 60 on the other side, make money from nothing ever happens. Counterparties just don't tend to be the most sophisticated. Another reason for that is when people were putting limit orders in geopolitics, they're taking such a large risk because geopolitics can flip so quick, right? So they don't tend to be crazy sophisticated. They're not as sophisticated as, like, let's say, a model that trades crypto. On breaking news markets, such as a market that has just opened, such as when will the Louvre robbers be arrested, so much dumb money. Geopolitics, you can win. You can beat it. There is a lot of dumb money. You overall beat this category by exploiting public overreactions. Number 3, I actually chose to put elections and politics over geopolitics. Here's the reason why. The edge that I have found has been almost all arbitrage. There is a lot of dumb money and there's a lot of smart money. There's just a lot of money in political markets. It's the second largest market on most prediction markets next to sports. But I mean, is it bigger than sports? Maybe. There's no way to get true odds of how likely a candidate is going to win a race. For example, NYC mayor race, there's no way you can get the true odds of anyone winning. And because of that, there's a lot of edge to be had. There is so much dumb money just flying around. And the way that I've made money in this market and why I put it above geopolitics is because the risk isn't as high because it's pretty much all arbitrage that I do. People are going to be betting on different prediction market platforms for a candidate to win. There is so much arbitrage out there. Not only is there arbitrage between Poly, Kalshi, and you name it, there's also intra-market arbitrage, where there could be 3 different markets within Polymarket that kind of mean the same thing. You know what I mean? And that you can exploit that arbitrage in that correlated relationship. Elections are fantastic. I mean, they really are very good markets where you could actually have a shot at making money. Top 2 now. I'm going to shock you with number 2, sports. I know you're already saying, dude, I've lost money on prediction market sports. How on earth is there an edge? Hear me out. This is the market where I have made the most money. It's not even close when it comes to prediction markets. I've made 80% of my profit has come from sports. Probably like 70 to 80%. This is where all of the money is, all the volume is. Hate to say it, all the degenerate gamblers kind of are. They go to here, right? The dumb counterparties, emotional counterparties. There are true odds from external sports books, which means that bots are going to be setting plus EV bids and offers. But these sports books are not always correct in line setting in a live market. Also, there's so many different types of sports. There's so many different types of markets within as well. For example, in a basketball game, that impacts the odds of a team winning the Western Conference. That impacts the odds of another team making the playoffs, right? There's so many different markets here. There's so much money in these markets too. This is a utterly fantastic market. If you put a little bit of work in, there is so many dumb counterparties in this market that you can 100% beat. The way that I beat it, and I don't want to expand too much on this, is setting unexploitable limit orders. That's the way you beat it, but can't really tell you how to do that. No, thank you. Number 1, mention markets. This is what everyone talks about these days. It is the best. I would say that this is the best category on Polymarket and Kalshi for so many reasons. The reason I made this list was to tell you what will have the dumbest counterparties. And I am telling you, the counterparties that you're going to have on mention markets are absurdly dumb. Just the strangest things happen. Because there's no way you can accurately price what someone will say. That is impossible. Even if they have it on their sheet that they're going to read it, that's not 100%, that's 99. You know, there's no way we can get true odds of someone saying something or not saying something. This is a popular category, so much dumb money. Your orders get filled all the time. You're not going to win the latency fight, meaning if Trump says something during a speech trying to buy up yes in that market, but you can get incredible value on pre-event terms, such as, before he starts speaking, what will he say? Live mention markets are, fast-paced, really fun, but odds are going to be flying all over the place. And what I've found is that there aren't many limit orders, so that if you do use limit orders, you're taking a substantial risk, because if you limit order buy no, you get killed if, the word is said. If you limit buy order yes, you can get killed if the speech stops, right? But because there aren't as many limit orders live, there is so much just opportunity to be buying at really cheap odds, especially live. Overall, this is a great reoccurring category that currently I can beat, others can beat. And there are plenty of great Twitter traders and Discord traders who talk about this exact category a lot. You're going to beat this category by out researching your counterparties and just reacting better during a live event. For example, Trump's speech, let's say that he says Iran, and then the odds for Middle East go up to 95, right? What do you do here? I would buy no at 5% because that's pretty plus EV. I mean, just because he said Iran or Israel, does that mean he's going to say Middle East? It's more likely, but it's not a 95% chance. Do you kind of see how these edges come? So this is what I would say is the number one dumbest money, best trades you're going to get. It's going to be mention markets. All right, let's go back to the 10. These are the 10 categories ranked by how a combination of how beatable a market is and also how dumb the counterparties are. The dumbest counterparties tend to be sports, I would say elections, and mention markets. Elections, because a lot of people are just saying, oh, I think he'll win. They don't do any research. Sports, oh, I think Golden State will win. Mention markets, oh, this is fun. I bet you Trump will say, I don't know, Zimbabwe. So, yeah. That is going to do it for today. These are the 10 categories that, from my experience, are ranked worst to best. Let me know in the comments. And hopefully this has helped you make better trades and find dumber counterparties than yourself. Happy trading, and I'll see you in the next one.